think I got it. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Shabbat. I tried to tag people, but it was not being agreeable with me, and that's usually how it works. Being visually impaired.
You're live.
I am. I guess I am. And you can hear me quite well, I guess. I guess I will. I want to wait until people come, but I'm not going to because I know you guys got stuff to do. And I don't want to be like, them pastors that, can you see me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is it pointed directly at me? Or yeah, okay. I don't want to be like, those pastors that, hold you during church and, church, you got stuff that you have to do. And I don't want to do that. But those of you tuning in, happy Shabbat. Welcome to Torah Living, where we live Torah through the living Torah. My name is Cap, and I'm here with my lovely wife,
Tammy.
She didn't say it like that. I mean, she's probably got a little headache. And today, I wanted to go over a few things. So hopefully you'll have patience. You'll, if you know somebody that's interested in, watching, this video, tag them. Oh no, I didn't turn off the notification. So sorry if you guys hear that a lot throughout, and I know it gets pretty loud. But anyway, we're going to talk about ticking off the boxes on the things to come as spoken of by Yahusha himself, our Messiah. And also there's a bonus where we're going to read one book out of Yaakov or James, for those of you still in the King James Version. Hopefully you will be transitioning from that one pretty soon. So that being said, the first thing we're going to talk about what the Messiah said is going to come. And we're going to be reading out of Mark, chapter 13. That's the book we're going to go. Later on, we're going to hit up Yaakov. And because I truly believe he gave me that book to guide us in our blindness. I mean, and there's no pun intended, because you guys know that I'm blind, but in our blindness of the truth, there's some specific instructions in there that you will see that is apparent in the Torah community today. And don't feel bad. As bad as it is, with us, a group of people over here with a bunch of head knowledge, and a group of people over here have, with 1 foot half in Christianity, 1 foot, in Torah. You got the other people who, are trying to live right and trying to do right. And, it's just a jumbled mess, but it has always been thus. It has always been thus. That is why the Messiah had to come. It wasn't that we couldn't keep the law. They were pretty legalistic about the law. But I mean, we'll get into that. I mean, in the depth, but I do want to go into ticking off those things and explaining them as it is happening today, next steps and the things to come that Yahusha has already pointed out. These things are going down. It's going down. It's happening. This is the end times, but not yet. But it is at the door. So grab your Torahs, your Bibles, and let's do Torah.
Oh, can you talk for just one more second?
I was talking for 3 hours already.
You weren't. It
was 2 hours and 59 minutes.
It was not.
Okay. Well, I hope everybody's doing good. If you guys have prayer requests, please, we don't do blind prayers, no pun intended, because we need to be specific about the things that we need to pray for. We need to be specific about the things that you want other people to pray for. So if you don't want it known in the comments, just PM Tammy or me, and we will send up that prayer for you if you need it that way. Because keep in mind that you yourself can also pray. Those of you who are watching from YouTube, hit the thumbs up. If you like this content, click subscribe so that you'll be with us, and hit the notification bell. That really helps us in the algorithm to get it out there and to be seen by other people. I mean, this platform is not monetarily set up, so I'm not trying to make money. I'm just trying to get the word out and do the work of Yahuwah. Thank you, man. Thank you. So, yeah, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload from the Torah Living channel. And for those of you on Facebook, share this video with your friends. It's time to stand up. It's time to let them know. It's time to do the work, because the laborers are few, and that's you and me. So let's do it. Let's get it. Sorry, go ahead.
We're going to start in Mark 13 with verse 5. These are not in order, so I'm going to have to, it's going to be a little slow.
Okay, yeah.
And Yahushua began to say to them, "Take heed that no one leads you astray."
So this, he pointed out, make sure that your mind is stayed and focused on the Messiah and the things that he has said. Don't let anybody come in and try to add to it. I don't care how pretty they are, how handsome they are, how clever, how charismatic. Don't turn to the left or the right. Keep on the narrow path. Don't let anybody yank you off. That narrow path is only as wide as one man. One man, who is the Messiah himself. He is that narrow path. He is that straight gate. Don't let anybody come up to you with the name game, because there are no other people on the planet in recorded history or otherwise that bear his name or bear any other name other than Yahudah. Yahuwah is the Most High. That is his name. It always has been. It always will be. Yahusha is the Messiah. Yahudah are the people. That's us. What's next, babe?
13:7. And when you hear of fightings and reports of fightings, wars and rumors of wars, do not be troubled. It has to take place, but the end is not yet.
So the fightings, or the wars and rumors of wars, for those of you in the King James Version following, verse 7, that's now. That's absolutely not. Because there are wars going on. I mean, there's us against Iran or Iraq. There's the Russia against Ukraine. There's China against Taiwan. And there's a lot of other skirmishes going on also. Also, here in the U.S., there's brewing wars or potential fights or rumors of wars, that there's going to be a race war, there's going to be a civil war, because the people are upset with the way that the government, or that they feel the government is treating them, us, you, me, everybody. There's rumors of FEMA camps. There's rumors of, and people are not going to settle for that. They're not going to, there's the constant threat that, Russia is going to, do something crazy. Kim Jong-un over there in North Korea. There's wars and rumors of wars already going on right here, right now. The scripture is laying it out. Yahusha already said it. And you would have to be blind not to be able to say, I'm looking at the scriptures, looking at the news, this CNN, and oh man. So that's one box checked. Next.
Verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign. And there shall be earthquakes in various places, and there shall be scarcities of food, famine, and disturbances. These are the beginning of birth pains.
The beginning of the birth pains. Check. Nation against nation. That's kind of always been, but it's getting worse and worse. Because now there's issues with the food. There's issues with, the shortage that, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Walmart and looked on the shelves and saw that, hey, you know what? This place ain't stocked like it used to be. It kind of looks like it's a going out of business sale in a lot of places, except for the place, that has all the guns. That place is fully stocked. So also, earthquakes, they haven't been as prominent as they used to be. However, that's one of the things that, to come. The food shortage is in progress. So it's on that decline, and it's going to decline to the point to where it's going to make everybody uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, hungry, irritable, angry. And then the other stuff comes. I believe you said, what was it started with a Q.
I don't know, let me go back to that verse.
Chapter 8.
You mean verse 8?
Oh, verse 8, yeah.
Disturbances.
Disturbances, yes. I said it started with Q. I was just trying to be funny. But disturbances of the peace. Disturbances in the atmosphere. Now they've come out with new terminologies that we've never heard before. I've never heard of an atmospheric river. As far as I know, rivers have always been on the ground, underground, never above and in the air. California, if you don't believe that's happening, talk to the people in Northern California. They probably have a few things to say. And also the people in Ohio, Missouri, Illinois, I believe it's Wisconsin, but wherever the Mississippi runs, there's flooding there. There's tornadoes. It's like a tornado bargain sale. Everybody's getting one. Oh my gosh. What do you do? It's leveling, whole cities. There's people out there right now, and my heart goes out to them. Please, Yahuwah, please touch these people and protect them. But it is that they've lost everything. All the family heirlooms, all the pictures, the clothes, the food, the technology, the four walls. They have nothing. There's places where there's nothing standing. So disturbances, not just the killing is on the rise. I mean, and this is coming from, government officials on down to just the civilians. It's kind of scary when you think about it, but it's happening. So that box is kind of half shaded because there are still things to come, but those things are in progress as we speak. And it's only going to get worse. Prepare yourself. Get off the fence. Stop riding the fence about whom you will serve this day, because there's going to come a time when you will be given over to a reprobate mind, and there's no coming back from it. There's no coming back from it. You won't want to come back from it, because you will truly believe, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, Yahuwah will send them the delusion because they chose to live unrighteous. They will believe the lie and not the truth. It's time to stand up. It's time to stop arguing. It's time to stop fighting to see who knows more than who. Because you don't want to have to be explaining that in front of the judgment seat. What's next, babe?
Verse 9. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils and to congregations. You shall be beaten, and you shall be brought before rulers and sovereigns for my sake, for a witness to them.
So here's what's coming next. So that one shaded box, it's on its way to being a full check mark. The next one is that we will be given over to the authorities because of our view and our belief and our not going by the things of the world. They're going to expect us to. They're going to need us to, because during that time, I believe the mark is going to be passed out. And they're going to deliver you up. They're going to beat us. It's like they're getting practice in right now, the cops. They're getting practice in right now on, and it don't even matter what race you are. It used to be that, it was kind of tilted and slanted towards, people of a darker shade. However, now it seems like all bets are off. They're just practicing. Just a friendly game of baseball. Pow. And they don't stop. They tase you to death. They beat you to death.
Sorry.
Let's all give Tammy a moment. No.
My drink went down the wrong way.
I hate when that happens.
And I was trying to... Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
God.
I don't mean to laugh. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But, and I hate to keep pounding that in, because I know when those of you who are in Christianity are in church, they're not talking about this. They're not giving you the real deal. They're giving you that goody feeling, so that when you go home and you don't remember a dang on thing the pastor said, and you're no closer to salvation than you were when you first stepped through the door on that day, which is not Shabbat. So, Tammy's still doing. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them down in the comments section, and let me know what you think about what we're doing so far. If you like that, if you like this content, if you want us to put out more stuff like this. Again, hit the like button, the thumbs up, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I will be posting this also in Facebook, so for those of you that aren't familiar with how to search channels like that, I'll always post it. I have also a group called Living Torah.
Yes.
Living Torah
Torah living.
No, this is Torah living. It's his living Torah. I'll post that too. I'm blind.
Hilarious.
It's hard to memorize this stuff sometimes. Okay, so we know that they're gonna put us in prison for his sake, for the sake of Yahusha, the name they hate. Every time you talk to somebody and you mention that name, they always come up with another one. You know why? Because they hate that name. They hate the name Yahuwah. They hate it. And trust me, they're going to hate you too.
And I know I said I wasn't going to interrupt. I lied.
Fine.
But that is truly evidenced by your posts this week.
Oh, man.
And if you're listening and you commented on that post, I don't really care. The thing is, the ignorance on some of those posts about the name. Excuse me. I did choke a second ago, if you're wondering.
Well, the problem with that is that we're all at different stages of our walk.
It is. However, if you can articulate well with 50,000 scriptures from the complete Jewish Bible or the Sefer or whatever, and you have all of this knowledge, but you want to push this name with 50,000 daggone letters, you're wrong. Quit arguing. Sit down and listen for a minute. Quit using the head knowledge to make yourself sound so much better than you really are. We are all the same.
One of the things that I have noticed, and I know we're getting off, but I'm gonna get back on. People are using, their own intellect and logic with the actual name's meaning rather than the name itself.
Right.
This can't happen. Not if you intend to be sealed against that great day. I mean, I know a lot of people use the W. I know a lot of people use the V. But when you look at it, and you don't need some, scholar with what all of this, I've been doing this for 137 years, and I was there when they wrote the Aleph and the Tav, and I've written all these papers and theses and all these things, and I've been doing this for so long, and so I have this as my background and my proof that his name is blah blah blah. Yet there are no people. This should be the number one red flag for every single one of you. There are no people by those names. No people at any time by those names. We bear his name.
Mm-hmm.
We are not called, and I'm saying it only for educational purposes. Heavenly Father, please forgive me. There is no Yahweh. His name is Yahuwah, because there are no people called Yahweh. There are no people called Yehovah. There are no people on the planet since the beginning with that name. However, Yehuda is a place, it is a people, because we bear his name. Yehuda, Yahusha, Yahuwah. What's next?
Ooh. That was good stuff. Thank you. I got cold chills. I was like, whew. Verse 10. And the good news has to be proclaimed first to all the nations.
That one is pretty self-explanatory, but I had to put it in there because he said it. The good news has to be preached to all four corners of the earth. And therefore, so no one can have the excuse to say, well, I didn't know. Oh, you know. You will know. And whether you choose to listen or not, it's up to you. Don't hand the keys to your salvation over to anyone, because they're not going to stand for you in front of the judge. They're not going to stand for any of the choices that you made, any of the behaviors that you've effectuated. It's going to be you and Yahusha. And he's going to wonder why. He may not even ask you. He may give you 4 words. I never knew you.
Ooh.
Take him away. So if you don't know him and, because you calling somebody else, some other name, you looking for a white man in a bed sheet and curtains, window curtains to come in, and you going to meet up in the air with him somewhere. Yeah, he's going to say, I never knew you. Okay? If you're looking for the J word, I always say Jesus. Jesus crust. It's not happening. That's not his name. It never was. Never will be. He's not going to say, oh, well, I knew her heart or I knew his heart.
Yeah, he sure does.
No, but he does. He does know your heart. And, but he doesn't know you because you never made the effort to get to know him. You only went by what other people told you. And that's the dilemma that most Christians face to this day. I faced it. When I was in Christianity, all I knew was Jesus. That's it. Yeah. That's all I knew. And we worshiped him. But we are not to worship the Messiah. We are to worship the Most High through the Messiah. No man comes to the Father except but by me. And if you're in Christianity, you know those words. So now you just have to channel it to whom it is deserved. So all the gospel, the good news, the message that you can be saved. You don't have to die. You don't have to die. According to the scriptures, we are expected to believe in the Most High with all your everything. Serve him with all your everything, all your resources. Love the Most High with all your everything. And treat your neighbor as yourself. If you do these 2 things, you encompass the entire law. That's out of the mouth of the Messiah. I'm paraphrasing. I can't, say it word for word, but that's what it means. And it will be preached all over. And I know I took more time on this one, and it's one of the shortest verses, but you won't have an excuse for why you have not chose the right one.
Right.
What's the next
one? Verse 11. And when they lead you away and deliver you up, do not worry beforehand what you are to say. But whatever is given you in that hour, speak that. For it is not you who are speaking, but the set-apart Spirit.
Now we're getting into old school testament. We're getting into him, Yahuwah, sending his set-apart Spirit to tell them people. Don't try to speak yourself, because it's coming. It's coming. They're going to throw us in jail. They're going to beat us. They're going to flog us. You saw what they did to the Messiah. He himself said, so they have done unto me, so they will do unto you.
Here's, and I do want to share this just because I think it's important. I think when we get a mental image of that, I think sometimes it can be off a little. It does say specifically, don't worry about what you're going to say. How many of us in our minds are like,
oh,
okay.
You will flip out.
So when dude 1 comes over, I'm going to say this, and he seems nice, so I can probably win him over. And, all these things. It's true. We go through that on pretty much a daily basis in some form or another.
Yeah.
Stay in prayer. Stay in prayer. Don't worry about it. He's going to give you what you're to say in that moment, in that hour. And I think we have to get to that point where we're not worried about, and I'm guilty, so I'm speaking to myself as well.
It's going to take prayer. It's going to take fasting.
Yes.
It's going to take turning from your wicked ways. It's going to take seeking him with all your everything and not just watching what the next man is doing and doing what he do. Don't do the monkey see, monkey do thing.
Right.
Study to show yourself approved. No one else can do that for you. If you allow someone else to do that for you, you might as well give up now.
Well, and I mean, in that moment, work out your own salvation. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're worrying about dude over here, you're not, in that moment, you're not focused on what you need to do.
You're not working out your own salvation. Yeah. You got work to do.
Yeah.
Like I said, we are expected to become immersed. We are to be immersed for the remission of sin. In the name of Yahusha, calling on the name of Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
In the name of Yahusha, calling on the name of Yahuwah. If you do it in any other name, you just wet for no reason. You just dunked in the water. That's you just wet.
I had a drink and I almost choked again.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry,
but
y'all.
I mean, it's serious. And if you're thinking just because, I know there's a lot of men that say that women they're not allowed to teach, they're not allowed to do anything, or if that's the case, why are they going to be judged in the end? Why would a woman have to stand in front of Yahusha and give an account for the things that she did and did not do, and what is considered a sin, a transgression of the law? If you don't do what's there, you're sinning, regardless of, it didn't say male or female. A lot of people misinterpret what Paul was talking about. He was actually talking about in that moment, at that time, because, a few of the females were a little rowdy. They were, they were being a little mouthy during the service. But this includes women. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about anything. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Well, why not? If you don't have to go and preach the gospel to everything, or the good news to everything that has breath, why would you be judged? But Yahweh was judged. Eve, she was judged right then and right there. And so was Adam. He was judged right then and right there. And then there's still a second judgment because they brought on death. Death did not exist until we came. What? Death was introduced because of us. I know people want to put it on the serpent. They want to put it on that dragon. They want to put it on Satan. Yeah, he's got his role, but he's not going to stand for what you do. He didn't take the punishment for what Adam and Eve did. We still have a personal accountability. We still have personal responsibilities to take care of. If we don't address it and ignore it, you're going to be before him before you know it. Tomorrow is not promised. That's the next
verse 12. And brother shall deliver up brother to death. I'm going to read that again. And brother shall deliver up brother to death, and a father his child, and children shall rise up against parents and shall put them to death.
This one's on the next list too. And some of you are getting ready to do that right now. Because I can tell you, those people that are envious of you, those people that don't like you because of who you serve, just was spoken that would happen, they're going to give you up.
Yeah.
Remember, you want to know how they capture you and take you captive and beat you and all that stuff? It's because the people who you looking at and those people who you deem are your friends, they're going to turn you over. You're going to those same people going to turn their kids over because their kids at some point are going to start listening to Yahuwah's voice. Because in the end, it also says that he's going to pour out his spirit on all flesh. Those that have ears to hear will hear. And those that don't, won't. And they'll turn in those people, and it'll be their own kids. Their own kids will rise up against the parents. They'll turn their parents in. Your kids, your little loving little snowflake is going to turn you in. And go right to bed and won't miss not one wink of sleep. This is to come. A joke, but it is very serious. A lot of us won't make it until a time that he actually does come back. But you want to be in that waiting list to go where we were supposed to be in the first place since the beginning of time. You don't want to go to that other place because it has an end. Some of it does. Some of it does not. Some of it goes on forever when the smoke is, rise up. Whew. And it's going to be ugly. And it started already. It started already. And if you don't realize that it started already, you're going to get... You're not going to make it. He's going to say, I never knew you. And you won't have anybody else to blame but yourself. Your stubbornness, your hard-heartedness, your hard-headedness. I know a lot of these things sound good. It sounds good. But look around you. If narrow is the path, that means that there's not a lot of people doing it. There's not a lot of people following it. There's not a lot of people saying the things that I'm saying right here today. And if your path is, if there are a lot of people saying what you now believe, wide is the path to destruction, but narrow is the path to salvation, and there will be few that find it. What's next?
Verse 13. And you shall be hated by all because of my name, but he who shall have endured to the end, he shall be saved.
All you got to do is hold on. It's going to seem like I'm doing the wrong thing, or I should be doing. You might be idle right now, and you might feel like you should be doing something. Stop it. Be slow to act, slow to speak, slow to anger, quick to hear. And if it ain't right, don't get involved. Be quick to cut people off whom you know, and it's not for you to judge them. Don't do that. It's not for you to judge your brother, because what they do and what they say has nothing to do with you, especially if you plant the seed of truth. It's time to keep it moving. You can't try to watch the seed grow. That's looking back. What they do is between them and the Most High. He's the one they're transgressing against. You ain't got to like him, but you do have to love him. That's coming later. What's next?
Verse 14. And when you see the abomination that lays waste, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, set up where it should not be, he who reads, let him understand. Then let those who are in Yahuwah flee to the mountains.
Yahudah.
It doesn't. Oh, it does. I'm sorry. I'm sitting away from it a little bit.
That's fine.
Yes, Yahudah.
Let those that are in Yahudah flee. So,
sorry.
When you see the abomination of desolation in a place where it should not be, it's time So what is that? What's going to happen? Oh, you'll know it when you see it, because it's going to be blaring that, oh, what in the world? A lot of people say it might be earthquakes, it might be, I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate or try to put words into you guys' minds, because I know that some of you don't have a lot of self-discipline, and you'll run with that and create a whole nother religion. So when you see the abomination in a place where it should not be, okay, then it will be time to flee. It will be time to run. Those of you that are in Yehuda, if you are in Yehuda, not just the place, because Yahusha said over there where those people are, there's not going to be one stone left upon another. That hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. But if you are in Yehuda, which means that if you are grafted in with the people, if you are of Yehuda and in Yehuda, it is time to flee to the mountains. If you're over there in Europe, you know where to go. It's written where he will come and set up camp. And if you're over here in the States, we got to get over there. And here's some other things that are, woes for that time. Some woes for that time, and instructions for us, or, I show hate it for you kind of thing. What's the next?
Verse 15. And he who is on the housetop, let him not go down into the house, nor come in to take whatever out of his house.
Don't even go in the house to get nothing. Don't do it. If your car keys in there, leave them. Get there some other way, because you're not going to have a whole lot of time. That's how close it's going to be. He's going to make sure you get there safe. However, you got to move. If somebody's waiting and lollygagging and saying, I'm going to go in there and get my coat, leave them. But that's my wife, that's my husband, that's my brother, I love them, that's my family. Leave them. Yahusha said, if you love brother or sister more than me, if you love mother or father more than me, if you love son or daughter more than me, you are not worthy of me. And you'll be left out there. Don't do it. Try to get them to see reason also. Look, don't do it. Don't go in there. Don't do it. What's next?
Verse 16. And he who is in the field, let him not go back to get his cloak.
If you're out there just, coming back from Walmart or grocery store or, Kohl's or whatever, just driving around, don't go back home. It's time to go.
Gotta go.
And call, if you on the way, you can make phone calls, let people know, hey, it's time. We have to move. Let's do it. What's next?
17. And woe to those who are pregnant and to those nursing children in those days.
We got a whole new baby booming thing going on here now. And, there sadly are going to be a few of you, because of the disturbances that are going to have to go on, and that's coming up here shortly, that Yahusha will tell you why it's going to be a bad thing to not keep it moving. And some of us are not going to make it. We're not going to make it. Even though we believe in the right one, we're doing the right things, we won't make it till that time. Don't think you get a pass. And I know a lot of you have watched that Left Behind series. Some of you read the books where, all this magic going on, and a lot of these people aren't dying when they should be. Sorry, it does not work like that in the real world. It's never going to work that way. You know, Moshe died. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, or Yirmiyahu, Yitzhak, all of them, you know, they gone. They didn't get to stay. And he used them mightily. So, you ain't going to be no different. So during that time, there's going to be a lot of things going on. I mean, cataclysmic things. I mean, you think it's crazy now. But Yahusha said, it's going to be, and it's coming up, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be as bad as when he first formed the earth. There hasn't been anything like it to this day, and there won't be anything like it afterwards. What's next?
18. And pray that your flight does not take place in winter.
Bad things are happening, so make sure that you're ready. If you stay ready, be ready. Go ahead, man. What's next?
19. For in those days there shall be distress, such as has not been from the beginning of creation, which Elohim created until this time, nor ever shall be.
There it is. There's going to be distress. So there's going to be volcanoes going off. I mean, all this stuff is going to be happening at the same time. New fault lines. I mean, I'm talking splitting countries. You know, it's going to be bad. I mean, you've heard that people have always said that, you know, I think California is going to fall off into the ocean. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's not going to be pretty, so be ready. Be ready. And that's still a box that has yet to be ticked off or checked. I was going to say chicked.
I like ticked off better.
Ticked off.
Let's tick it off.
Tick it off. What's next?
Verse 20. And if the master had not shortened those days, no flesh would have been saved. But because of the chosen ones whom he chose, he shortened the days.
I know a lot of you are wondering, it's like, man, it was just Shabbat last week. I mean, it was just, it seemed like it was a couple of days. The days have been shortened. And they're going to get shorter. And it's going to get worse. Because afterwards.
And if anyone then says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or look there, don't believe it. Do not believe it.
Don't. We all know what a lot of people are going to be looking for. And it's not going to be him. That the Brad Pitt in the bed sheet, in the wall tapestry. No, that's not going to be him. Don't believe it, don't go. Next.
22. For false messiahs and false prophets shall rise, and show signs and wonders to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones.
Oh yeah, there's some believable stuff going on. There's some blue beam stuff being set up right now. I don't know if you guys heard about the balloons that they shot down in the sky in a diagonal from Washington all the way to South Carolina. There's going to be some spectacular trickery going on, and a lot of you are going to fall for it. Don't fall for it. There's going to be some magicians that'll come, because you read the book. Those of you who read the book know that Moshe, when he came to Egypt to get the people out, Aaron threw the staff down. Them people did the same thing. They threw the staff down. His staff turned into a snake. Their staff turned into a snake. And how can you deny that? They were able to match everything. Yeah. Almost everything. Not everything, but they put up a good run, enough to trick a lot of people. Don't fall for it. What's next?
Sorry. And you take heed, See, I have forewarned you of it all.
What was that verse?
23.
What was before that?
22. For false messiahs and false prophets shall rise and show.
So 23 says what? I'm sorry. I messed that up.
And you take heed. See, I have forewarned you of it.
So he's telling you, I'm saying what he says. Don't fall for it. Keep your wits about yourself. Don't get off into doing stuff that's going to take your mind off of what you should be doing every day. What's next?
24. But in those days, after that distress, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light.
So it's gonna be pretty bleak. Devastation everywhere. It's gonna be bleak. What's next?
25. And the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers in the heavens shall be shaken.
Y'all, I don't know if you've ever been afraid in your life. But when it seems like the earth is about to spiral out of control, it's about to, I mean, there's not gonna be a lot of hope being passed around in that day when the sun won't give its light as much. Everything is dim, grayed out. The moon will not give its light. And the stars of the heaven will fall.
I mean, and think about that too. If the sun is darkened, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I mean, just another thing to add to all of that.
It's going to be cold. There's not going to be a lot of food. There's not going to be a lot of, anything. There's not going to be a lot of people that are willing to help because the love is already waxed cold. People are already doing each other dirty, the dirtiest that they've ever been. People are only looking out for themselves. We have no Torah community to speak of. There is no Sanhedrin for us. If you're talking about those people over there, they're not it. There is no Torah community right here. Now, why you say that? We believe, well, we can't even agree on his name. We can't agree on his name. We can't agree to help those people who are homeless. We can't pool our resources together, our money, our foodstuffs, because we're so worried about who's going to take from us. But if you look in the book of Acts, several of them perished because of that. When Yahusha straight charged Kepha to set up this community so that everybody will have a common purse, the one purse, the treasurer, and everybody gave so that it was distributed to everyone and everyone had and no one lacked. Nobody had more than the other one so that there would be envy or strife or striving among each other. Nobody would need to thieve from any of us if we got our act together. There won't be that. It's going to be, man, you're talking before the Stone Ages, before the dinosaurs. I mean, fire it everywhere because I'm believing that a lot of the stars that will fall are going to be meteors hitting the earth, asteroids or whatever, creating giant dust clouds. Are you talking about something worse than a nuclear winter? Or maybe that would be it. But something cataclysmic is going to happen so that everything is going to get dark. The stars, the sun, the moon. How you going to tell where the omers are? How you gonna tell when the new year hits? How you gonna tell the lunar Shabbat? Those of you who follow that, I'll tell you, count 7 days. And on the 7th day, you rest. What's next?
26. And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with much power and esteem.
And then the salvation will come and we will be like, oh my, I'm so glad. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. Those of you who are left, who is Yahusha to you? Better learn who he is. Better seek him out.
Did you see next we're going to James?
No, we got one more. 27.
It's not on here.
It's not?
Let me look. Maybe I skipped it somewhere, and if I did, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I did pretty good.
It
is. I'm sorry. It is. I did skip it.
It's okay.
27. And then he shall send his messengers and assemble his chosen ones from the four winds, from the farthest part of earth to the farthest part of heaven.
Yes. So those of you who did not get to make it to the Mount Sinai, those of you who didn't get to go, he's gonna come and get you. So he's gonna send for you. Won't that be amazing? I mean, I don't think there's a word for it. And so that's the end of that one. But we got it done in a nutshell. I mean, there's so much to say about each and every one of those. If we don't come together, it's better for us to and safer for us to be in numbers rather than individually minded. That's not how he works. I know Christianity, they teach us to, develop this close personal relationship. And while that, may help you out personally, Yahuwah has no respect of persons, individuals. He addresses nations. He addresses us as a nation. Mm-hmm. If us as a nation will turn from our wicked ways. I mean, just think about Sodom and Gomorrah. He didn't kill individuals over there that were just, being unruly. He decimated the entire region. There was not even dust that you could put together to make something else. I mean, he stomped that place into powder. He has no respect of persons. Let's come together. Let's get it together. And let's get it.
You do have some comments on here.
Okay.
And guys, I just want to explain, for those of you who may not know, he is blind. And when I'm reading scripture, I'm not on, his video, so I cannot see the comments until I'm done. Sheila Baldwin said, "Shalom, brother and sister."
Peace to you, Sheila.
And she also said, "Praise Yahusha."
Praise Yahuwah through Yahusha.
Yes. Set apart Mo something.
Yeah.
He said, "Let it be so."
Let it
not
be
is
so.
That word.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let it be so. Selah.
And then he said, "Laugh out loud." That's maybe when I was choking or something. I don't know, but maybe not. I don't know.
Plus, I be making a lot of faces.
Well, I don't pay attention when I'm reading the scripture. I always stare at it so I don't miss anything.
Right.
I'll have to go back later and watch your faces. He said it'll be blatantly obvious. Grafted back into the olive tree, Yahuda. And then Eric Harris posted his own link for No Excuse, 4:24:23. Michael's knowledge of truth, man, God, Yah, who do follow.
Okay, I have to check that out, Eric. Peace to you, and peace to Mr. Is it Momin? Set apart Momin.
It's MO''AMEN.
MO''AMEN. Moamen. Oh.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't know how to get around it, so. But on that guy's link, it also says Esau is the system, Freedom NGO group, non-governmental organization, man, God, Yah, who do follow.
I don't know about that, but I will. First of all, we need to get out of the mindset that Esau is a white man. He's not. Okay? Everybody over there is like you and me. All the Egyptians, all the Cambodians, the Assyrians, all of those people over there were brown and browner and dark brown. Okay? And they were unruly. Each and every one of us. If you claim to be Yahuda, we were those people, brown. If all the 12 tribes, if you want to take the luster of being of that bloodline or of that people, you have to also realize the wrath of Yahuwah that is to come for those people who are not doing his will. We will get it worse. Those who are in the Torah will be judged by the Torah. And those who are outside of the Torah will perish outside of the Torah. That includes you. I don't care who you think you belong to, what kind of Israelite or whatever. Esau got in trouble with Yahuwah because he was hard-headed and he gave away his birthright. That did not please Yahuwah at all. It wasn't because of his skin color. It was because he was disobedient. He didn't follow the rules. And if you think Yahuwah is playing games with you, you better think again. He did not allow Moshe to see the promised land because he hit the rock instead of speaking to it. And now if he'll stop you from getting to that promised land because of one little thing like that, keep playing. Keep playing with him. Keep blaming the white man. It's not going to be, it is not the white man. That's the problem. It's us. We lead people astray because of what we do and our greed. We blame people because the reason that we were taken captive in the first place is because we went whoring after other nations. We've been whoring after other countries to follow and worship what they were worshiping. It wasn't the white man that did that. However, he was an instrument of our punishment, which is ongoing up until the point that Yahusha returns. Don't play yourself out. Being pumped up, puffed up, full of pride, posturing. That's not going to be allowed. It's not going to be allowed. Don't do it. It hurts my heart to even to see my brothers doing this and not realizing the peril that we are in because of our hard-heartedness, our thick-headedness, whatever adjective you want to use there. We can't fool ourselves into thinking that we are sure to spot. Moshe wasn't. And he spoke directly to the Most High. I was going to go into this other one, but I know that it's going to take a while. If you guys want me to continue on with the book of Yaakov, chapter 4, I believe it is. It is the entire chapter 4 book. I may have to do another, Torah Living live on that one. I probably will. It won't be tomorrow, but maybe hump day, Wednesday. It won't be Shabbat But would you pass up a message to help you get to where you need to be spiritually? To develop the connection to Yahuwah through Yahusha that we should all have right here, right now. We should be able to talk to each other like we got some sense, agree to disagree on certain things. We should have elders set up. We should have, it doesn't have to even be called a Sanhedrin, but a council. We were, and that's in Yaakov also, that we should come together, elect our leaders, because we have a king already. We don't need one. We just need the leaders so that we'll have a chain of command, and we follow it to the letter. We don't get pumped up and I deserve this more because I know more than that. No, because I'm telling you, he himself said that he who exalts himself, he will be abased. And he who humbles himself, him he will exalt. He will lift him up. So let him do the lifting. Don't you do it. Let him lift you. Let him tell the people, hey, because he will. He done it for Moshe. He did it for Aharon. He did it for Yahusha. He did it for Yochanan, the immerser. He will do it for each and every one of you. He will go and tell the people, hey, look, this is the person whom you should listen to. Listen to him. Do what he says to do. And quit bickering. Quit fighting amongst yourselves. Why are you fighting amongst yourselves? You don't have to do that. What are you fighting about? When you think about it, what are you fighting about? Who gains from your squabbles? Not Yahuwah. Yahusha doesn't get any of that. No, he doesn't get the glory from that. You do. And where does that leave you? I told him. Did you make it? Are you sealed against that great day? No, because he specifically told us not to do that. Are there any more comments?
Yes. Set apart Moaman. It's a female, and I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I looked at that and thought, oh, that's a dude.
I'm gonna just call you Mo. All right.
But she also said,
peace to you, Mo.
Sorry, I have to scroll back. 100, truth, yes, Barak haba b'shem Yahuwah,
The name of Yahuwah.
and yes, Aki, continue.
Thank you, sis. Sister Mo. I mean, I wish I knew your real name. I'd rather say that. Because, there's a thing about, I don't know if you heard it or not, but amen and amen and amen all are basically different ways of just calling on the Egyptian sun god. So rather than say that, we err on the side of caution by saying Selah, by saying, let it be so according to his will. Because in that, we know what we're saying, and we know who we're saying it to. And that I've spoke about and had a point of contention with a lot of us because we don't know what we're saying, we don't know what we're doing, and we will perish for lack of knowledge.
And here's the thing, our big thing is when you know better, you do better.
Indeed.
Because we used to say it too. We were right there.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that I have never been where, we're all at different parts in our walk. We're all in, at different levels, and I understand that. And in Titus, it tells us that we have to be patient. Mm-hmm. We have to be patient with one another because, you don't make an enemy out of your brother because you're going to have to depend on him at some point, or her, or them.
And
if you can praise in English, if you pray in English, praise him in English. Mm. End your prayers in English. That way you know what you're saying and you know who you're saying it to. He's not gonna take points away from you for that.
Well, I mean, here's.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were.
He's not going to take points away from you for that. I mean, a lot of people be like, well, it's the Hebrew language. First of all, it's not even Hebrew. That's not the name. It's Ibrim. Ibrim is the language that Yahuwah used when he spoke to Moshe, when he spoke to Abraham. And it also says in the scripture that there is not a language out here that he did not create. He gave us all the languages that we speak to this day. He gave it all to us. So if we can pray in English, you definitely praise in English. And you end your prayers in English. And, if you pray in Spanish, you praise in Spanish. You end your prayers in Spanish. You can do that. You don't have to go and try to sound clever and like a know-it-all and speak Ibrim or, as you say, Hebrew. You don't have to. Oh, isn't his name Hebrew? His name is his name. It was there before the name Hebrew or Ibrim was ever conceived. That part. Okay. Who else said something? That's it?
That was it.
Okay. I've held you guys long enough. I promise. I'm going to come up with the other one. And Bruce White, I promised him that I would speak on what we talked about earlier today. And I may just do a post because I get long-winded and these things can take, from an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I know y'all got stuff to do. You got to rest. You got to praise him. You got to do those things that you have been required to do. Yesterday is gone. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what you've done. Don't let that haunt you every day. Don't let that haunt you at all. You can't go back and change any of it. You are not promised tomorrow. So don't put a whole lot of worry about that. Yahusha said your plate is full for this 24 hours you have. So in that 24 hours, do his will. And if you lose your life during that time doing his will, or he comes back and finds you so doing, blessed are you and great is your reward. Don't let him come back finding, you fornicating, committing adultery, stealing from somebody, coveting somebody's things, putting idols in your house. If you got idols, any graven images in your house, get rid of them. Get rid of them. I don't care if it's a little cherub, chandelier or light switch or whatever. If you can feel it, it's graven. Get rid of it. It's gonna hinder you.
You do have some more comments, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, for some reason, if I'm on the comments, the new ones do not appear. I have to go completely back.
Yeah. I
hear the thing on your phone go tick.
Yeah.
And but anyway, set apart. That's what I'm gonna call you. I'm just gonna call you set apart. She said, Melchizedek, heart, laugh out loud. Then she tagged somebody, and she said, I understand. And she said, yes, I agree. I'm estranged from my spouse and chose to use the original Arabic of our last name, which means true believer.
Ah, okay. So is it Mohammed? Well, I know you wouldn't know that, Jack. If it is Mohammed, then I'll say that.
Right.
Sister Mohammed. Well, go ahead.
She said, I prefer using Aberith or Eberith. Heart, two hands held up, and then a crown. And then Ahiyah. If I pronounced that wrong, sorry. You speak some truth, but all truth comes from the house of W. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna call it out. You spoke on this post, so it is Yahuwah. I've seen many fall into the trap of the W. That is a creation of the Roman Catholic Church, and that is easily.
It is absolutely.
It is easily researched,
Well, you have to ask yourself who bears that name. All truth and understanding comes from the Most High. If you're not connected to Him, if you're not talking to Him, if you're not praying to Him, it's like dialing a number. You got your cell phone out and you miss just one digit. You're not going to get the person whom you are trying to reach. I try to break it down for us, but I'm not gonna come at you sideways, because where you are in your walk, I was there. I used that name, but I was corrected. I was open to it, so that I now know who to serve.
Yeah.
I now know from what name my salvation comes. And I'm not gonna berate you. It is what it is until it isn't. Okay? So all I'm gonna say, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, be slow to speak, quick to hear. Because if you're doing this, you're not doing this.
And let me say, I think people, sorry, I know a lot of people think that I'm really harsh, and because I'm blunt, I really don't ever sugarcoat anything, and I'm not going to. I say what I say, even though you may take it as harsh, because I do care. I do want you to get it right. I want us all to make it. And
you don't have to.
Well, because you sound far nicer than I do.
Look, if it's truth, it's truth.
Right.
Regardless of how it's brought apart. I mean, we get in our emotions way too much.
Yeah,
And I don't mean just us. I mean, we get in our emotions way too much when it comes to this. And therefore we get nothing done, because of the point of contention separates us and divides us, and there's no hope. But I'm going to keep my hand extended out to all those people. Just like the Messiah, if you come to me and I got the answer, I'm not going to turn you away, ever. I'm not going to hold what you said last week against you, because, just like the woman who was going to get stoned, did the Messiah condemn her? No, he did not. And so if you do what he did, if you say what he said, if you go where he went, then you can be where he is. That is the example that he left for us to follow.
And Set Apart said, Selah. Yes.
Selah.
And she said, yes. And she said, my name is Corey, and I've taken the vow of Nazir.
Oh.
Set apart, true believer. Yahuwah is my rock and salvation. Selah, Yah, Baruch you both.
Praise Yahuwah. Okay. We got the real deal in the house. Okay. I have yet to do that. I'm not studied up enough. All I do is give the messages as he gives. I teach the basics of Torah alone. I'm not qualified to do anything more than that. He has not set up me an office or anything like that. I'm just doing what we are commanded to do, to teach all that has breath that Yahusha is the Messiah and he will save you if you're doing what he said to do. So good on you. Good on you.
And she said, just as Abba chastens us, harshness does not sway my emotions. I have only love for truth.
There you go.
Praise Yahuwah for that too.
There you go. I mean, hopefully we can all come together, and I'll be your brother, and you be my sister or my brother, or anybody who is doing the will of the Most High, like Yahusha said. That same is my sister, my mother, my brother. Okay? I don't know if you guys have questions or anything. I mean, please drop them in the comments. I promise you I'll get to each and every one. If there's anybody whom I have offended, okay, please don't take my words as being hostile or combative or anything like that. I'm passionate about Yahuwah. I surrender 100%. I haven't taken any Nazarene vows or anything like that. I just surrendered my whole everything, because the one who I was, Cap, is dead. He's gone. This one whom you are seeing right now, though I be blind and I haven't always been, but I had to be so that I could be here talking to you. Otherwise, I'd be out there in the world.
We're going to take this one last comment.
Oh.
It's Amram Levi. Again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, sorry. Why are we so divided? Because of the Torah keeper trying to bind the law on the Church of Christ.
Mr. Levi, I'm not. You're going to have to. I know where you are in your walk. I know where you are. Brother, it is going to take some doing on your part. I can talk all day. If your eyes are closed and you're slumbering, I can't help you. He can't help you. You have to work out your own salvation. Nobody else can do that for you. Trust me, it is worth it. It is worth it. If your cup is full with the indoctrinations of the world, and everything that's designed to keep you out of the kingdom, is it worth emptying your cup? What are the living waters of Yahuwah to you? Think about it. Pray about it. I can't sway you or change your mind. I mean, we were not commanded to do that. My hand is to the plow, so that means I have to keep it moving forward. I plant the seed to keep it going, because if I look back, I'm not worthy of Him. So, that being said, drop your comments. We'll see you next Shabbat, maybe. Yeah, because I do have another one. It's already ready. And I can get that done. And, we can get the basics of Torah down. I have several videos on YouTube that, will definitely help you, Mr. Levi. And PM me. And I'll send you the links to those things. So,
he did say, real talk, bro. I can talk all day too, bro. I got gospel. What you got? The epistle I contend for, the faith. How about you?
I'm not here to argue, and I'm not here to measure head knowledge. That's not what we're here for. We're here to band together in the Torah community, serve Him with one shoulder, one lip.
To serve Yahuwah.
To serve Yahuwah with one shoulder and one lip. And of that, I will do that. And right now, Shabbat, Shalom, happy Sabbath to all of you, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Here we go.
Back button.
I think it's,
Set apart Moaman. Back button. Window navigation.
I don't think it's
Set apart Moaman. Only Yah has the power to finish button.